Welcome to The Quiet Ambition by Caroline Harrison. Most of us know, in the abstract, that our working lives have an edge to them somewhere. Very few of us have ever sat down and found out exactly where. An unmeasured runway feels infinite, a measured one becomes a decision. The quiet story: a woman I worked with recently did a piece of math she had never done before, despite 22 years in her career. She sat with a notebook and worked out the number of years standing between her and the retirement age she had always assumed she'd reach. Then she subtracted the years she'd already lost to a role that no longer stretched her. What was left was smaller than she expected, not because the number itself was frightening, but because she had never looked at it directly before. She had spent 2 decades treating her working life as though it were endless, an account she could keep drawing from without ever checking the balance. The moment she wrote the subtraction down, something shifted. The vague, comfortable feeling of later collapsed into an actual figure, and the figure demanded a decision. The insight: most of us never do this arithmetic. We know, abstractly, that our working lives are finite, the same way we know that summer ends. But abstract knowledge doesn't organize a life. What organizes a life is a number you can hold in your hand. Years left to work is not a morbid calculation. It's a practical one, the kind any well-run enterprise would insist on before making decisions about resource allocation. Yet most of us extend ourselves an indefinite runway. We would never grant a project, a budget, or a relationship. We treat our own working years as the one asset too uncomfortable to audit. The quiet disconnect here is the disconnect. We plan our finances in decades. We plan our holidays in months. We plan our weeks in hours. And then we leave the very thing that generates the money, the holidays and the hours, unplanned entirely. Ask most professionals how many working years they have left, and you'll get a shrug, a rough guess or a flinch. Ask them how much is in their pension, and they can tell you to the pound. The runway is real whether or not it's measured. Refusing to measure it doesn't lengthen it. It only ensures you spend it without noticing. The quiet choice, the choice once you've done the subtraction, is no longer whether to keep drifting. It's what to do with a number that has a flaw. You can spend the remaining years the way you've spent the ones behind you, on autopilot, deferring the real work to a later that keeps quietly shortening. Or you can treat the number as a budget, finite, spendable and yours to allocate on purpose. The second choice is harder because it requires admitting the first was never neutral. Drifting is still a decision. It's simply the one made by default. The quiet rebellion. The rebellion here isn't dramatic. It isn't quitting your job on the strength of a calculator reading. It's smaller and more radical than that, refusing to let your remaining working years be managed by inertia. It's saying out loud, if necessary, that a number this consequential deserves to be looked at, rather than felt. Most of the discomfort around aging careers isn't really about time passing. It's about time passing unexamined, which is a different and more avoidable thing. The quiet beginning. The beginning is unglamorous. A notebook, a calculator, 2 numbers. Your target retirement age, whatever that currently means to you, minus your current age. That's the whole equation. No spreadsheet, no consultant, no 5-year plan required to start. What's required is the willingness to write the number down and let it be real, instead of theoretical. The quiet ambition exercise: target retirement age minus current age, adjust for real life. Read more on the exercise in the newsletter. The quiet mantra: an unmeasured runway feels infinite. A measured one becomes a decision. The quiet reflection: reflect on the last time you made a significant decision about your career, a move, a stretch assignment, a departure, a decision to stay. Was that decision made with any reference to how many working years you actually have left? Or was it made as though the runway stretched out indefinitely in front of you? There's no right answer here, only information. The quiet conversation: I'd genuinely like to know, have you ever done this calculation before today? And if you have, what did the number change for you? Know someone who's been treating their career like it has no edges? Send them this one. Follow The Quiet Ambition for more on building a working life you actually chose. Ready to stop managing your career blind? Ready to measure your own runway and decide what to do with it? Book a Spark session, a focused 30-minute call to bring clarity to what's next. Link in comments.